Recently, chaos struck the city as a dangerous herd of wild boars stormed through, leaving destruction and fear in their wake. Several people were injured in the attacks, and panic spread fast. In response, the government issued an emergency order, tasking our hunting unit with tracking down the beasts and eliminating the threat before it got worse. With a burning resolve to protect our people, we set out on a mission that would test both courage and endurance. Would this journey bring safety back to the city, or plunge us deeper into danger? Let's find out. The first light of dawn crept over the horizon as we made our way up the rugged southern hillside. After a quick scan of the area, John moved ahead on a narrow trail, cutting off the path of the shadows flickering below. Oh, this was the golden moment. John squeezed the trigger. Each shot cracked through the crisp morning air, locking onto the target with fierce precision. Yet even with his quick aim, he couldn't quite match the incredible speed and cunning of the beasts darting through the brush. A message from John came through the radio. "Boars are nearby. Stay sharp." His warning came just in time. My pulse quickened as I steadied the rifle. The instant the beast appeared, a single unannounced shot tore through the silence. It dropped where it stood, brought down cleanly under the force of the rifle's power. We pressed on, eyes sweeping across every movement on the slope. Within moments, a dark shape flickered in the distance. I adjusted the scope, focused tight, and squeezed. The bullet struck true, millimeter perfect. The sound of the hit echoed like a victory drum through the trees. Suddenly, the sensors lit up. Another group of boars, moving fast on the western ridge. John reacted instantly, steady hands and veteran instincts guiding each motion. One clear shot later, and the ridge went silent again. It was a masterclass in control and precision. No time to rest, we kept advancing. Our patience finally paid off. When the next target appeared in range, the shot flew straight to the mark, clean and final. Each round found its target, cutting down the danger before it could spread. For every boar that fell, the safety of the city drew one step closer. We continued sweeping the hillside, eyes locked on every shadow. Within moments, another target appeared. The barrels lifted, no room for hesitation. One round fired, striking home, but another slipped away into the woods. Without missing a beat, the team spread out, closing off escape routes in every direction. Every movement was smooth, disciplined, like a well-rehearsed dance. Every plan anticipated, every action in sync. That's how hunters survive out here. As the day drew to a close and fatigue crept into our legs, The sounds of the forest began to fade. We finally lowered our rifles, knowing the mission was complete. The unseen sacrifices, the silent determination, together they had driven back the threat. For now, peace was restored. The hills felt quiet again, just the way they should be. The sound of helicopter blades cuts through the air, the signal that the hunt is officially underway. Every preparation is complete. Maps are marked, targets locked. We deploy immediately, rifles loaded, ready to pursue. This wild boar hunt is no longer a plan on paper. It's a brutal reality under these dense canopies. Just yesterday, back at the homestead, we received bad news. The boars had struck again, wreaking havoc and causing serious damage. There was no choice but to launch the hunt right away. Helicopters were mobilized overnight. The wild boar chase has begun. Join us for heart-pounding gunfire from the skies. At dawn, we swiftly board the helicopter and take off. Today's hunting ground, open fields adjacent to dense forest, the perfect terrain to flush out and take down the boar packs. The helicopter's roaring blades send the boars scattering from their hiding spots. Below, dark shapes dart desperately. Above, we hold the upper hand, calmly sweeping the terrain to corral them. Gunfire erupts, bullets tearing through the air, and one by one, the dark figures fall silent on the ground. Aim, shoot, repeat. Our flawless victory is quickly secured. A flawless opening move. Our helicopter circles high above, where no target can escape the watchful eye. Leaning out the door, I spot another desperate escape attempt. The boars race like arrows, but I lock my sights firmly. Breath held, trigger squeezed. The lead boar drops fast. That was just the start. Seizing the moment amid the chaos, my team opens fire simultaneously. The herd's numbers dwindle rapidly. Perfect coordination from hunters dominating the skies and defending their territory from these invasive beasts. Suddenly, the radar picks up movement to the south. We veer sharply, engines roaring, blades beating faster. Danger is near. These destructive invaders won't get away. From afar, the herd comes into sight. Breath held, trigger pulled. No mercy given. A hailstorm of bullets rains down. The shadows are quickly neutralized. Step onto this land, and your fate is sealed. The intense sweep continues all morning. The helicopter's roar alerts the boars, forcing them deeper into the woods. We adapt quickly. Plan B is set in motion. Wherever the boars are, that's where we'll go, hunting them relentlessly. Our team lands the chopper and pushes deep into the jungle. Out of the bushes, a target suddenly appears, staring straight at me, fearless, until the barrel is pointed at it. Breath held, trigger pulled. Boom! The boar is hit, but tries to flee. Another shot fires. The beast goes down for good. Every encounter fuels our determination to leave no boar unchallenged. Afternoon shadows lengthen as we hunt our way toward the forest edge. The boars are still out there, lurking, ready to appear at any moment. I grip my rifle tighter, nerves on edge. Then Jack calls in. A boar is being pushed my way. Seizing the opportunity, just as it bursts from the tree line, I squeeze the trigger. One clean shot. The target is down. all in just a few seconds. Impressed by this quick shot? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Joy is short-lived as an ambush forms. Team reports a herd under attack, running straight towards me. No time to hesitate. I lock the target, prepare to intercept. Alone but ready, rifle charged, I brace for the challenge. Dark shapes rush in, footsteps pounding closer, heart pounding, sights locked, trigger pulled. The lead boar falls decisively. Follow-up shots fly fast, thinning their numbers dramatically. A truly heart-stopping moment. The sun sets and we head back to the village, but no one lets their guard down. The forest demands constant vigilance. Suddenly, a herd crosses our path. Sound gave them away early. Calm and focused, I predict their path and speed. Bullets fly, striking targets. When no more dark shapes remain on the trail, today's hunt finally comes to a close. The land is peaceful once more, with only the rustling wind replacing the roaring engines. The mission is complete, trophies secured, and tension of the hunt fades. From helicopter liftoff to the last shot fired, this wild boar hunt was a brutal yet rewarding journey. Damage has been stopped in its tracks, and we return with full satisfaction. The mission may be done, but the hunt never ends.
Darkness thickened over the Italian sky, bringing with it a heavy, indescribable tension. I knew tonight's hunt would be unlike any other. Wild boars are relentless adversaries, their razor-sharp tusks and relentless claws ravaging crops, causing farmers millions in damage. We had prepared thoroughly, ready to face these fierce beasts head-on. But would everything go according to plan? Or was an even greater challenge lurking in the shadows? Stay with us to find out what unfolds. The clock had just struck 7 p.m. when we swiftly moved into position as planned. As the night thickened, the beam of our flashlights became the only way to detect any movement ahead. The target appeared. I quickly chose the perfect shooting angle and fired a decisive shot, bringing the beast down. The sharp crack of a successful ambush echoed, a promising start to tonight's hunt. Without hesitation, we launched into the chase, following our carefully laid out plan to make a big catch and bring peace to the local villagers.
3, 2, 1.
Following the trail, suddenly the signal light flickered from the eastern field. The bait trap was a success. We moved in immediately, every sense razor sharp, tension tightening like a noose around us. Look at that. Quite a crowd indeed. Each shot was set up perfectly with deadly precision. Every kill meant a release for this land from those sharp, destructive claws. As darkness deepened, it marked the peak time when the wild boars appeared in full force. Based on experience and careful observation, I was confident the edges of the field were where they gathered, and my instinct proved right. The beasts surged out, growing in number as they began their nightly search for food and destruction. When the target slipped into the sights, a shot rang out, swift and precise. One fell. The rest, reacting instantly, vanished into the shadows, leaving behind an eerie silence, a chilling declaration that this hunt was only just beginning. With limited visibility in the darkness, using high-tech gear like infrared binoculars became essential for night hunting. This advanced equipment made it much easier for us to zero in on our target. Minutes later, a familiar silhouette quietly grazing came into clear view. The moment was right. A sharp shot echoed through the night. Spot on. A small victory was quickly secured. Just imagine, without the help of technology, this battle would have been a grueling challenge. Suddenly, silence fell over the space, making the air heavier than ever. Waiting in position, I couldn't help but feel the tension rise, my eyes locked on the viewfinder, anticipating the beast's appearance. Through the binoculars, the target came sharply into the crosshairs. At that very moment, the bullet was released. The shot echoed through the night, ending the creature's presence. A silent showdown concluded, sealing the fate of this wild menace, a clear message that there's no place for destruction on this land. The forest edge seemed never to lose its restless pulse. Once again, a signal echoed, a stark reminder that the wild boar's presence was far from fading. Quick footsteps and mounting tension filled the air as we closed in. This time, they showed no caution, seemingly lost in hunger and abandon. Gunfire cracked like a final period, ending the life of the beast, the last target for the night. In the end, we reclaimed what had been ravaged. But the cost of this silence and victory, perhaps only I could truly feel.
The once fertile, lush land now bears only the scars of devastation caused by wild boars. They have mercilessly ravaged this place, leaving lasting trauma for the locals and causing millions of dollars in damage. Will these monstrous beasts be eradicated? Can the hunters stop them in time before it's too late? Follow along for the thrilling hunt scenes coming up next. On the rich, fertile soil of Picardy, a pack of ferocious beasts was stealthily wreaking havoc on everything in sight. As soon as the report came in, John's team was on the scene early, swiftly moving into ambush positions, ready and waiting. Before long, one member spotted a wild boar quietly rummaging for food in the verdant meadow, oblivious to the eyes watching its every step. He quickly readied his rifle, took precise aim, and fired. The bullet hit its mark, and the beast dropped instantly, unaware of its fate. With one clean, accurate shot, the rampage of this savage creature was decisively stopped.
That's it.
At the same moment, in another part of the field, a wild boar dashed across Jack's line of sight. It drew closer and closer to his aim. Seizing the moment, he swiftly fired, bringing down the prey. The bullet struck, and the boar collapsed before it could escape. Another threat was eliminated. A perfectly orchestrated ambush was unfolding at the edge of the field, where the savage beasts often hid when spotted. This time, John was tasked with holding the choke point, determined to let none escape. It wasn't long before his teammate's signal rang out. A wild boar appeared, charging swiftly through John's line of sight. Almost simultaneously, the crack of his rifle echoed with precision. Each shot felled a beast, none able to flee. That shot not only took down the marauder, but also saved the crops, restoring peace to the fertile fields of Picardy. In the towering grass, a sudden counterattack by a wild boar made our hearts race. This hunt belonged to Thomas's team. They were already on the scene, tracking the faint traces left by the wild beasts. A rustling sound broke the silence, and Thomas swiftly turned toward the noise. A wild boar emerged from the dense undergrowth. Without warning, it charged, aiming to attack Thomas. A gunshot rang out instantly, halting the beast's dangerous assault. One must admire Thomas's composure. Had he hesitated for even a second, the one lying in the grass might not have been the boar. At the same moment, Thomas's teammates swiftly spotted a target in the deep grass within the nearby forest. The wild boar moved sluggishly, concealed among the thick blades, but it couldn't evade the hunter's scope. Taking position, he selected the perfect angle for the shot. The bullet was fired, and the boar collapsed onto the green grass. Another threat neutralized, another location secured. thickets and fields have borne witness to heart-stopping trigger pulls. Months of sweat and toil had led to this moment, the time to reap what we'd sown. But our joy was shattered by a heartbreaking sight. Rows of cornstalks lay crushed, cobs torn apart, the fields scarred with fresh signs of destruction. The culprits? A rampaging herd of wild boars. Our hard work, our dreams, reduced to rubble in an instant. Unwilling to surrender, we grabbed our rifles and set out to take down these invaders. This cornfield, my family's pride, where Devil and I now stand, is nothing but a scene of devastation. The wreckage speaks for itself, no explanation needed. The culprit revealed itself in a flash, a massive black shadow tearing through the clearing, quick as lightning. I fired, round after round. The beast took a hit, but charged wildly into the corn, desperate to escape. My eyes never wavered, my grip steady. One final shot, dead on, ended it all. No matter how stubborn, no destroyer can outmatch us, the rightful guardians of this land, hunters born from this soil. Out in the cornfield, the hunt was no easy task. Too many perfect hiding spots for those wild boars. As we moved along the irrigation ditch, Devil suddenly surged forward. I read his signal and followed close behind. Out of nowhere, a ferocious boar charged across our path, cutting us off. Quick as lightning, Devil fired. The first shot sent the beast into a frenzy, crashing through the tall grass. But it didn't get far. The second shot, clean and decisive, dropped it cold. Another destroyer felled in the heart of our field, because we won't let this land be violated. A rustle erupted from the corn rows, and in an instant, two wild boars burst from the thicket, practically begging to be targeted. Caught off guard, I was on my own to face this sudden chaos. I fired rapidly, bullets chasing their frantic path. Boom! Boom! One boar dropped dead in its tracks. But in a split second, before I could even blink, the other vanished into the dense underbrush, slipping from my sights. Looks like today's hunt is throwing us more challenges than we bargained for. True companions, my dog zeroed in on the target in a flash, charging forward and clamping down hard on the boar's leg, cutting off any chance of escape. Right on cue, Devil stepped up and pulled the trigger. The massive boar collapsed, going limp in an instant. What a textbook takedown. What do you think? Drop a comment below. As we moved to the hillside, our dog's fierce barking erupted from the thicket. Without a second's hesitation, boom! A bullet struck its head, sending it reeling backward, tumbling down the slope. My heart raced. A split second slower, and I might have been the one tumbling. As the afternoon sun cast long shadows, the distant thud of hooves echoed in my ears. I was ready, so when two boars charged out of the brush, one after the other, I wasn't caught off guard. With years of experience, I locked onto my targets. One shot, and the first boar dropped. A second bullet, swift and short, felled the other as it scrambled to flee. The tension melted away, replaced by an unexpected wave of relief. As the final rays of sunlight stretched across the cornfields, we trudged back to the village, our trophies slung over our shoulders, drenched in the sweat of our labor.
The southern United States is becoming the new hotspot for wild boar hunts. These increasingly brazen beasts are devastating crops, livestock pens, and threatening the safety of both people and animals. Hunters have swiftly gathered here to tackle this menace for the locals. The following moments will plunge you into the most vivid and thrilling hunting scenes. Watch until the end to pick out the best hunting. Today's journey begins in Arkansas, where the relentless beasts are mercilessly ravaging crops. At 5 a.m., Nick's hunting team assembled, driving their familiar truck to a forest marked in bold red on the map. Upon arrival, the team, along with their hunting dogs, ventured deep into the woods, executing their assigned tasks. The members swiftly took their positions, eyes sharply scanning every movement. Suddenly, Jack spotted a familiar silhouette moving through his line of sight. He closely tracked the prey's path, and then a decisive gunshot echoed through the forest. The wild boar collapsed instantly, unable to react to the precise shot. The hunt started off quite successfully. In the eastern part of the forest, a team member quickly spotted a group of wild boars foraging right within his line of sight. They were completely unaware of someone lying in wait. He carefully selected his stance and firing angle, locking onto the largest, fattest boar. It collapsed instantly after a single shot, but the others swiftly escaped before another gunshot could ring out. At this moment, the hunting dogs quickly tracked the remaining traces. A few minutes later, their barks echoed loudly, and Nick immediately moved toward the source of the sound. There was a wild boar frantically fleeing from the pursuing dogs. Nick swiftly pulled the trigger, successfully halting the boar's escape, giving the dogs time to surround it. Before it could slip away again, another gunshot rang out, completely ending its chance of escape. A thrilling chase unfolded, putting an end to the threat in the Arkansas forest. At the same time in the South Carolina forest, a precise ambush was unfolding without the slightest error. Another team of hunters had arrived, taking their positions to wait for the target to appear. From his hiding spot, Leon suddenly spotted a wild boar weaving through the bushes in search of food. Ready in position, he swiftly took down the prey with a single shot before it could sense anything. At the outer edge of the forest, another team member successfully took down his target. While tracking the remaining traces of the beasts, a wild boar suddenly burst out from the dense grass. Seizing the moment, a clean and decisive gunshot rang out. A precise finish helped restore peace to the forest here.